Hey, it's Brad and welcome back to the kitchen. Today it is all about building some pantry staples. These are the go-tos that you need around all the time. You might not use them every day, but they're the things that you're gonna wanna have on hand. So today we're gonna build an herb oil. We're gonna use all these beautiful fresh herbs here. We have some almonds. I've already soaked some. We're gonna make some almond milk. We're gonna freeze some so that we always have some available for our smoothies. These guys here, as we're gonna get going, are some broccoli sprouts. So we're gonna start the sprouting process and get those started. We've got some licorice root here, and I got a few other herbs that are kicking around here. We're gonna build some digestive tonics, and we're gonna build some teas that we can use for some immune health and digestive health. So we're gonna get that started. We're gonna build another digestive tonic. It's gonna have a bunch of herbal properties in it, including this orange here, beautiful organic orange here. We're gonna use everything. We're gonna use the peel, we're gonna use the orange. It's all gonna go in there. It's gonna have some apple cider vinegar. I can already feel in my mouth salivating over it. And then we're gonna wrap it up here. We are also gonna build a sourdough. So I got some starters done last night there. This smells absolutely delicious here. We're gonna get that started as well. So stay tuned there. Lots of pantry staples coming your way. All right, it's time to make our herbal oil here. And really important that we start with a completely clean and dry mason jar. Any water that's left in there could lead to some spoilage. So we wanna make sure that is completely dry. We also wanna make sure that the lid and everything else is dry as well. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take we got some, what do we have here? We have some oregano here. We're just gonna destem our oregano here. And we're gonna make sure you don't shoot your oregano all over the place here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give these herbs just a rough chop here. Again, depending on your level of comfort with your knife skills there, make sure your eyes are always on there. These are gonna go into the jar, and so we don't dull our knife, we should be using a bench scraper here. Again, make sure everything is clean and dry. Next up here, we've got some sage. Oh, got a little more oregano kicking in there. That's okay. We'll use a little extra oregano. We have some sage. Like, that just smells fantastic. The hardest part about these pantry staples when we make them is that they do take 3 to 6 weeks to really be ready to use. We don't want to rush the process because you want to get everything out of these herbs here. Up next, we've got some Italian parsley or flat leaf parsley here. Give that a rough chop. Again, all of my herbs that I'm using they're dry. They are organic here. We're not messing around. We don't want to have bad stuff in our products here. So we gotta make sure we go that extra little bit and get the herbs that you need. Last up here, we got some rosemary. Again, you can pull it off the stem there. Make sure you get all of those leaves here. Again, we want to have enough that we can fill our mason jar with about halfway up, maybe a little more than halfway with some herbs here. Again, we've used oregano, we've used sage, we've used some flat leaf parsley. We have our rosemary. Again, we're gonna give it a rough chop. Reason why we wanna chop it and then we're gonna muddle it in the mason jar is we wanna release all those volatile organic compounds, all those parts that make those herbs smell so good, all those essential bits. That way they get infused right into our oil and they're gonna taste absolutely delicious here. We're gonna finish off here. We have a lemon. You can use lemon balm. I was not able to find any, so I found an organic lemon. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the outer peel here because there is so much flavor and goodness and health in these guys here. We wanna make sure we get every last little bit of that. We're gonna, again, give that just a rough chop. That's gonna go in. And again, there's no magic recipe. If you're using fresh, you're gonna use sort of 2 times the amount of dried. So if a recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of dried, you're gonna use 4 tablespoons of fresh. If you like more cilantro or more rosemary, then you can increase or decrease based on your own flavors or preferences there. Again, that mason jar is about halfway filled. We've got some extra virgin olive oil cold pressed here. We're gonna fill this jar. Slow process, we're just let it go here. And the reason I like this is that extra virgin olive oil is definitely a more stable oil. So we don't want to have any oils that are going to be rancid as we let that pour here. So sometimes we'll use a coconut oil, an avocado oil can also work. I prefer this herb olive oil. It is fantastic after when you want to drizzle it over top of vegetables. It has got so much flavor. There we go. Sometimes, because you're pouring out of the bottle here, sometimes you need to tip it a few times because you are displacing the air in it. And we'll come back here. We'll get this filled up here and we'll see herbs in the jar here. We've got all the olive oil in the jar here. It smells absolutely delicious here. So we're gonna take a wooden spoon or a chopstick and we're just gonna sort of muddle and break it all down, mix it all up. And that is as easy or as complicated as it gets to make your sort of everyday herb oil. Again, like I said, the hardest part is it's gonna take 3 to 6 weeks to let it all be ready to strain out and use. So when it's ready, we'll take the oil here, we'll pour it through a colander, we'll strain out all those herbs, and then we'll keep it in a cool, dark place. In the meantime, we're gonna take a piece of cloth here, a piece of unbleached parchment paper that you've got here. We're gonna cover that up there. We're gonna toss that around a couple times. And then we are gonna put that in the pantry in a cool, dark place, and we're gonna leave it to do its magic. And we'll clean up what's going on around the kitchen here, and we'll get ready for the next recipe.